for your presentation. We will just have one more presentation before the break, so please stay on your seats. Well, hello everyone. My name is Martin Stroc, and I'm from company Microtik. I work in Microtik company in a support department. So when I found out that I have to make a presentation for the mom, I thought about what I should make this presentation. Then I decided that I will make a little bit selfish one. I will tell you a little bit about initial debugging steps in RouterOS, because every day we receive emails from clients who are thinking that they have found a bug or something like that. But actually, if they would know some small things which they should try before contacting support, they would be able to come to solution much more faster. So that is why I will tell you about initial debugging steps in RouterOS. But the first thing that I would like to tell you is, before you change anything on your router, think about it. Am I the only one who can be responsible for this? Let's say suddenly on your data center some router stops working. You are on a hurry, you run to this data center, try to debug something, but actually you didn't know one thing. Your colleague changed something. So there isn't a bug, there isn't an issue, simply someone changed something, and it wasn't you. Believe me, I have spent many days trying to find a solution with many people who are writing to support, but in the end, oh, sorry, my colleague changed something on my device. So everything is actually working. So that's the first thing which you should check. During this presentation, I will tell you what you should do when the router is not accessible. Another topic will be what you should do if you lose license key on your device, how you should use debugging by using log, and we'll tell you a little bit about upgrade possibilities in RouterOS latest versions. And in the end, I will tell you what you should send to support, what you should expect from us, so we could work together as a team and to reach a solution much more faster. So, first of all, what you should do if your router is not accessible. There is one very, very good and useful thing on many of our routers called serial port. Always, if something isn't working, connect to your device through serial port if you have one on your device. You can use like COM port or RJ45 connector. And you can see, for example, if you boot your device, which is not reachable, something like this, you immediately know that something is corrupted on file system and that you should try to reinstall your router. It's not an issue with, I don't know, like Ethernet cable or something like that. Simply, file system is corrupted and you have to reinstall your device. If you wouldn't use serial port, you might spend a lot of time trying to find out what has happened, but serial port can show many things to you which you are not aware of. Let's say that you couldn't access your device. You connected serial cable, and you still don't know what has happened. What you should do next? First of all, try backup bootloader. Each of our devices come with primary bootloader and backup bootloader. What does it mean? Let's say that you downgrade bootloader version to the one where device isn't supported yet. It won't work. But what you should do now, you should test backup bootloader. Backup bootloader is one bootloader version which will definitely work on your device, because it's like integrated on the device to be sure that you can retrieve the device if something wrong happens. How you can test it? First of all, power off your router, press and hold the reset button, and now power router on. Wait for 1 or 2 seconds and release the button. If you use serial access, now you will see not router booter, but router boot backup booter running. You will be sure that you are now using backup bootloader, and if that helps, maybe you get back access to your device, then you simply can execute a system router board upgrade function on command line, and this backup bootloader version will exchange primary bootloader version on your device. So you can always install a correct bootloader version on any device by simply using reset button and afterwards system router board upgrade function. Okay, but that didn't help. So most likely issue isn't with bootloader. What you should do next? Use netinstall. Believe me, every day we receive emails from clients that netinstall isn't working. It's full of bugs. It's not working on Linux. It's not working on Windows. Every day someone's telling that it's not working. But there are a few things which you should know before using it. This is how netinstall looks, and if you want to use it, then you have to press reset button when you power device on and wait until router appears on the netinstall screen, as you can see here in example. But if it doesn't, what you should do next? First of all, always use latest netinstall version. As I was telling about bootloader versions, also with netinstall, let's say we just released like CCR, new version of CCR. But if you will use 2 years old netinstall, it won't recognize this device. You won't be able to netinstall it. So if you use netinstall, it's not working, go to our download page, download latest netinstall version and use this one. Always remember that firewall must be turned off on your computer, because usually it blocks netinstall communication. Remember that IP address of computer and the one which is configured on netinstall must be on same subnet. Of course, you have to have IP communication between netinstall and router, so you would be able to reinstall routers on your device. If you use Windows, then remember that gateway IP address must be specified. It's just simply how Windows works. You have to have gateway address. Remember that other DHCP servers can be on network, because router might get IP address not from netinstall, but from any other DHCP server. And router must be connected on boot interface. For example, on most devices it's Ether1. For like CCRs or RB1100, it's a last Ethernet port, so be sure that you are connected through this interface. And just to start netinstall process, you must power off your router, press reset button, power router on, wait until it shows up in netinstall. If you followed previously mentioned steps, it should work right away. If you use serial cable, then you can enter in bootloader menu, press O to choose boot device, select one. Now router will go into Etherboot and connect to netinstall automatically. Well, you tried look for an issue through serial port. You tested backup bootloader. You reinstalled your router, but you still can't access it. What you should do now? Simply try to reset your configuration. Very often people, for example, misclick something on Winbox, or doesn't actually understand something, or makes a simple mistake and lock themselves out of router. For example, if you create simple input drop firewall rule, you won't be able to access it. Then the only way when you lock yourself out is to reset configuration. To reset configuration, you just need to, again, power router off, press the reset button, power router on with reset button pressed, and wait until user LED starts to flash. Now release the button and router should boot up with default configuration. It still didn't help. What you should do now? That's the next step. First of all, check, maybe it actually isn't a fault of router. If you can't access, change cable, change PoE if you use one. Change hardware maybe on the other end. Maybe this router isn't faulty, but the device on the other end is faulty. Maybe it's an issue of software. So if it's possible, connect the device through serial port, check interface statuses and so on. Maybe you can find the problem by simply changing cable, changing PoE, and the device might start to work. But still, if it's not working, exchange the device. If you will exchange the device to the same model device and it works, you will know for sure that this device is broken and you have to send it to RMA or simply try to fix it. Or, then you will know that router was here to blame. And also, if something isn't working, remember that there is no more than 100% load on router. I can't connect to my router, my tunnels are not working, my speed is very slow, but if you go to resources panel, you can sometimes see that router is simply 100% loaded and you can't ask for more from this router because you have overloaded it already and simply it's not an issue, it's not a bug, you just need more powerful device. Okay, these were like initial steps what you should do if you can't access your router. Let's now talk about lost license key. What you should do if you lose license key on your device. Usually it actually happens because people try to downgrade versions. You know, I liked 6.7 version, I will downgrade my routers to 6.7 version, but then you might lose a key. Again, as I was telling before, new router can't work on old router's version simply because of driver support. First of all, licenses are divided into two groups, for x86 and for routers. If you lose license on x86 machine, all you have to do is to request a replacement key from support team. You just need to send an email to us with a support file from your device, and you will need to pay $10, and you don't need to worry. We will make a new key for your device. It usually happens because you swap hard disk drive on your device, you reinstall it with NetInstall. That's how you can lose license on x86 machine. But if you use a router and you lose license, first of all, remember to upgrade device. So the drivers would be up to date, then license usually comes back. If it doesn't, again, as I was telling before in the beginning, upgrade firmware bootloader version by running system routerboard upgrade function. Now router is up to date, bootloader is up to date, but it's still missing. So you should generate support file by pressing this little make support ref file, make support ref button, which you can find in Vimbox, in Webfig. You can also execute system support function in a command line to make this file. Download this file from your router, send to support team, and we will fix it for you. So all we need from you is to have correct files, correct information, and then we will be able to help you very fast. Okay, we talked about little hardware issues, little bit about license issues. Now let's talk about debugging by using log. Usually this helps if you have some kind of configuration issues. So to show you what you can do with log, I created a simple PPTP tunnel, and I made a mistake on purpose, so it wouldn't work. Here you can see standard log in RouterOS. At the moment when my PPTP tunnel is trying to connect to server but isn't able to do it. And I can't see anything why it is happening. I have no idea what is wrong. Is it fault of server or client or something else? I just don't know it because I can't see it in a log. So what you should do now, go under system logging menu and you can see this black line which I have added. pptp debug expression mark packet. It means that I will now see in log all debugging messages about pptp except those who are from packet topic. Why exclude packet? Because at the very beginning you should just check pptp debug first, because packet logs are very long usually. They will fill your log very fast. So first of all, just check pptp debug. So result now is a little bit better. But still, what is the problem? Why it's not working? I don't know what LCP closed means or something like that. Why my tunnel isn't working? So, if you are not being able to find a solution by using pptp debug logs, then you should enable this packet logging also. Remove expression mark under system logging menu in front of packet. And you know what? It was very simple mistake. Bad username or password. So you wasn't able to see that in the log in the beginning, but by using debug logs, you can actually find that it's very simple mistake. You can fix it yourself. You don't need to write to support or ask consultant for help. It's very simple mistake which you can find by using debug logs. And when you use logging and need an assistance, you should make sure that all logs are saved, because if you save them on the router memory, you reboot router, the logs are lost. Logs are usually very long, so we have made an option that you can save these log messages on the disk or the remote server and so on. So you should go under System Logging Action menu and check what's available. And you will see there by default option called disk. It means that all log messages will be saved in the file, and you will be able to download this file and send to support. So just open disk, type file name which you want to use, put some limitations, lines per file and so on. And now all the logs will be saved on the disk. Download file, send to support, and we will have much information from where we can begin to try to help you. So, you have tried everything now. Serial access, tried the net install router, reset router, you tried to debug router by using logs, and still something isn't working. Remember that we are every day working on new routers versions and new features. So, now we offer to our clients 4 types of routers versions, because if you use old version of routers, something might not be working, but maybe it's already fixed. So before you contact support team, you should upgrade your device. Now we offer 4 types of routers versions. Legacy version, which is routers version 5 latest version, 5.26. It's pretty old, and people use it only on old routers nowadays. And all other 3 channels are version 6 routers channels. First of all, the most stable one. Some of people like to call it like long time support version. It's bookfix only version. At the moment it's 6.34.6, and it means that the fundamental version was 6.34, but it has been upgraded with fixes 6 times. 6.34.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on. So one version with only bug fixes upgraded 6 times. Then there is current channel, where is version on which we are working at the moment. Now it's 6.35. You can see that we have upgraded it 4 times already with only fixes, but still at the moment in bookfix channel is 6.34.6. That is why, because we are not sure yet that 6.35.4 is better than 6.34.6. Not better, but stable, more stable. 6.35 has more features, but it hasn't been around so long, so we could be sure to put it on the bugfix only channel. And of course, release candidate. Version which can be released maybe 2 times a day. We upgrade it on our Office few routers. If they are working, we release this version. And actually, you are the people who are doing the most of the testing on these versions, on the release candidate versions. And then we work with our clients to see how they want for us to improve this release candidate version, so we can make it a full current version. So, if something isn't working, you should choose to upgrade to bugfix version, to current version, or to release candidate version if you want to experiment, and if you are not afraid to learn about new features and so on. Before you upgrade, always remember to check changelog. Why? Because sometimes there are like small notes or something like that which would tell that this and that won't work after upgrade. We upgrade our compliance with RFC and so on, and sometimes old solutions won't work with new solutions. So you should always check changelog to be sure that it won't break your workflow, and you can for sure upgrade just one device. You don't need to upgrade whole network on something like that. Always read changelog, look for the notes, make sure that you need to upgrade device actually, that you can agree on these new features and you can work with them. So, but upgrade itself is very, very simple. You just open your router in Winbox or Webfig and go under System, Package, and check for updates. There you will see a window like this, where in drop list you can choose on which channel you want to upgrade. Current, bugfix, legacy, and release candidate. You can see the changelog here, and you can upgrade your router afterwards with just simple click, download and install. Well, now you did try everything through Serial Console. You net installed device, you got support files when you lost a license key, you debugged your device by using logs, you upgraded it, and something still isn't good, something isn't working. Now is the time to write a support team. So I would like to tell you some things which you should remember when you are contacting us, so we can reach solution more faster. First of all, we know that sometimes, I don't know, in the night, someone calls you, something isn't working, you are upset, you are actually at your daughter's birthday party or something like that, and you have to run to data center. But believe me, we on support team are your friends, we are trying to help you, so please try to always, when you write, remember that you have to not express your anger, but you have to express the problem. You have to, we sometimes really receive emails where people are just saying that everything is bad, but they are not telling what is the problem. They forget about it because they are angry, they are pissed. So try to, first of all, calm down and think about the problem. If we are talking about router rebooting itself, if you see in log error messages that router has rebooted because of power outage or without proper shutdown, you will write to us and we will tell you that most likely problem is caused by hardware issues. So if you see these log messages, try to change adapter or something like that, and if it's not working, most likely you will need to send this device to RMA. But if you see that device is rebooting because of kernel failure or watchdog timeout, usually it's caused by some kind of software problem. So then we will need more information from you, like for example serial output. As I was telling before, serial is very, very useful for you and also for us. I bet that you don't know what this means, but if router, for example, is rebooting and you have connected serial console to your device at that moment, you might see something like this. And often, if you send this output to us, we can find a solution very, very fast. It's all what we need sometimes. Not always, of course, but sometimes we can fix some problem very, very fast by using just this serial output. So, when router is rebooting, you should try to get this serial output. And the second thing what we need is support file. As I will tell you this many times, first of all, upgrade device to the latest version. Because we can't implement fix on old version, we need to see what's going on the latest version in any of channels, or bug fix, current, or release candidate. Then wait until problem appears. Because if you generate support file before that, we won't see logs or errors or something like that. We will need to reproduce problem. After that, generate support file. After a crash, no matter what. Don't reboot the router before you generate support file, because all error messages in the logs will be erased, so support file won't be useful for us. Wait until support file is generated, download it and send to us. And do not reboot device in the middle. In case if you have memory leak on your device and router is rebooting with out of memory condition, first of all, upgrade your device to the latest version. Now reboot router and generate support file right away, like after 1 minute of after startup. This support file will represent situation when everything is working correctly. Now wait, monitor your free RAM memory until it's almost full and generate second file. This one will represent situation when everything is bad. Download these both files and send to us. We will compare them, try to find where this memory is going, and maybe that in that way we will be able to help you. If you write to support say that you have memory leak on your device, we will ask you to follow these steps anyway. So you can do it first and write to us only then. If you have some kind of configuration issue on your device, upgrade your device to the latest version. Because always upgrade to the latest version. Then enable debug logs, as I was telling you before. Reproduce problem, so log would be up to date. And again, generate support file or multiple files if multiple devices are involved, and send them to us. So you have gotten right files, support files, logs, everything, and now you have to write a message. Believe me, these are messages which we receive every day, but they are not very helpful. Remember to concentrate on the problem. If you write ASAP, it won't help, but if you will write what actually is going on your device, if you can calm down and describe the problem in more detail, then we will be able to help you faster. So, briefly explain what has happened, what was the problem, then explain when it happens, if you know it, like twice a day, or when I enable interface, when I connect to wireless device. It will help us a lot. We will know in which way to look when we are looking for a problem. And what did you do to make it happen? What did you do to see the problem? Did you do it something yourself, or it happened at the random moment? So it will help us a lot. And remember about all the files. Attach them to the message. Don't just write there are files in attachment. Remember them to attach them to the message. Attach always support files, always log files, if possible pictures and videos. If router is rebooting, always try to include serial output if you have serial port on your device. And also send, if possible, networking topology drawing if you have some kind of configuration issues on your device. So now you have tested yourself many things, generated correct files, written message, and send it to us. First of all, you will receive automated reply from us. This is actually automated reply. Very often people are telling, why are you not trying to help me? Why are you not reading our messages? But you received this reply within few seconds. This is automated reply. But remember, even experienced people who are writing many times sometimes need to reread this message because you forget about simple things that you can find a solution in forum or wiki page. Still read it, maybe it might help you. But now, when you want to reply to us, it's very important to reply to message, not write new one, because in our support system, all the messages within same ticket number, within same subject are kept together. If you write new message, these will be 2 tickets, maybe assigned to 2 different people. It won't help you, it will just slow down whole process. So, you received answer from us. Please, just try to do everything what is asked. We are asking questions just to try to reach a solution faster, just to find where is the problem. Everything what we are telling might not help, but it might help us to see where the problem is. Make notes always, write something down, then it worked better, then it worked worse. It can help us a lot. Always make new files when you change configuration, like new support file, every time when you change something and send them to us. And reply within the same ticket number to make these all files together to keep up this conversation. So that would be shortly it, what you should do when you have some issues and what you should send to support team. And I wanted to show you this wiki page, which we have recently created. I hope that I have internet. And it's called Tips and Tricks for beginners and experienced users in RouterOS. For now, it's a short wiki page. For now, it's not very long, but this page actually involves few pretty useful things. Like at the beginning, there is a link to this presentation where you can find what you should do, and few different types of scripts. Like for example, how you can improve your default configuration, your firewall configuration, how you can ease load on queues, how you can handle different domain names, how you can ease load on firewall, and so on. Not many people know about this page yet, but believe me, when usually I send link to this page to people, they are... Sorry? It's very long. It's in the presentation. You will find this presentation in mom.microtik.com page, so you can find the link there. And sometimes one simple script can ease a load like 50% of your device, believe me. So sometimes you can visit this page when you are looking for a solution for some kind of problem. So thank you. Enjoy the mom. So now we will have a break until like 12:45. So be back at the time. The presentation was